I still can't believe I'm here doing this. I shouldn't be. I should be lying in bed resting, but I couldn't resist coming and doing my live stream right here, right now. Here we go. It is Sunday and it is English Addict coming to you live from the place, well, you know where it's coming from. Of course, it's England. Oh, poor Mr. Duncan. Poor Mr. Duncan. What a pity. Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope you are feeling happy. Oh, wait there a second. There you are. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining me. I should be in bed at the moment. I was yesterday in bed all day. Mr. Steve went off and left me all alone. So I had to suffer. I had to lie in bed by myself. And yes, you may have noticed also, we are wearing our masks again. It was announced yesterday that here in England we have to once more wear our masks when we go into public places where there are lots of people together. For example, public transport, on the train, on the bus, on your local aeroplane service or airship. Whatever your mode of travel is. And also when you are in supermarkets, shops, shopping areas, you will once again have to wear your masks. Here we go again. Yes, we are doing this again. Another thing we are doing again, of course, is English Addict. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another weekend. And also for those who are wondering who I am, well, I will tell you more about me in a few moments' time, because it is Sunday. I can't do my high voice, I'm afraid. I just can't reach up there at the moment, for which I apologise. I'm ever so sorry. Please bear with me today. I don't know how long this live stream is going to last for. It might only be for 5 minutes. We will see what happens. But I have my emergency screen ready, just in case anything goes wrong. And also, helping me a little bit later on, we have Mr. Steve as well. Mr. Steve will be with us a little bit later on as well. How has your week been? I hope your week has been better than my week, because, to be honest with you, last week I spent most of it lying down, coughing, sneezing, and generally feeling unwell. So that is the reason why I sound different today, for which I apologise. We will see how long my voice lasts for. So far, we are doing well. But yes, we are back together again. My name is Duncan. I talk about English. I love English. The English language is a wonderful thing, very popular. Many people enjoy learning English as a second language. And yes, I think it's fair to say that it is rather popular. We also have the live chat. Hello to the live chat. Oh, congratulations to Marwa Mohammed. Guess what? Marwa. You are first on today's live chat. feels very strange. I can't believe it. I'm feeling rather unwell today. Isn't that a shame? I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but I always feel that when you get a cold or a fever, I always feel that they go through different stages. So, for example, mine started with a very strange, unpleasant discomfort in my nose. Nothing too serious, but I knew that that was the start of a cold coming on. And then, pretty quickly, it spread to my throat. And then I tried to do a live stream last week with my throat all painful and sore, and then it made it worse. So because I did my live stream last Wednesday, it actually made everything much worse. So my throat was hurting, it was painful, and then slowly it spread down to not into my lungs, but certainly all of the tubes that go down towards your lungs. They also became rather painful as well. Before anyone says anything, no, it is not COVID. So don't worry about that. It's nothing like that. It is one of those damn colds that are going around at the moment. So besides COVID, we also have normal infections that normally spread around at this time of year. Colds, flu, all sorts of fevers. And now we have the new variant of coronavirus as well. Omicron. Omicron, which apparently means small, which is why we say micro, you see. So when we say micro, we mean small. So Omicron refers, well, it is also one of the numbers in the Greek, one of the letters in the Greek alphabet. I'm doing well today, aren't I? Considering my brain has decided to switch off. But also, micro is used to describe something small. And omegon or mega means large. So that's the reason why we use those two words as a prefix to say that something is small or something is large. Whew, that was very difficult, I have to be honest with you. I'm finding all of this rather hard to do, but I hope you will stay with me. Who knows, you might get to see me collapse on the floor. Who knows? Also today joining us we have Tomek. Hello Tomek. I hope you will treat me gently today because I'm feeling frail. I'm feeling delicate. Also, we have Luis Mendez is here today. Hello Luis, thanks for joining us. I hope you feel better than I do today. I really do. Hello also Richard, Beatrice. We also have Megar and also Tiksha. Hello Tiksha. It feels like a long time since I saw you here last. Is it my imagination? It feels like it. It feels like a very long time since I last saw you here. We also have Sandra. Oh, another person I haven't seen for a long time. Pedro Belmont is here as well. Hello, Pedro. Nice to see you back as well. Hello, stranger, I suppose I should say. Although I have to apologise, I'm still unwell. I'm still feeling under the weather. I have a cold. It's gone to my throat and then it's gone to my chest. And now I am fighting the infection. Although the good thing is you end up with a rather sexy deep voice. Yeah, coming soon to a cinema near you. Hello, also Claudia. Don't worry, I am unwell, but at least, as I always say, it could always be worse. It's true. It could always be worse. Always. So however bad things seem, It could always be worse. Hello also to Hakan. Also we have Pushar. Hello also to Maria Giovanni La Rosa. Nice to see you here as well. I hope you are feeling good today, by the way. I hope you are feeling happy and great as we say goodbye. And yes, we are about to say goodbye to November. November is fading away like the sun setting in the distance. And then, of course, we have December coming up. December is just around the corner. A busy month for many people. We have Christmas. We have preparations for the new year. So a lot of people getting very excited during the month of December. And because of my illness, I haven't been able to go outside to put my Christmas lights on the house. I haven't been able to go outside and arrange all of my lovely Christmas lights. I haven't done it yet. Normally I have it done by now, but this year I am a little bit late, unfortunately. I am a little bit later with my Christmas lights, so I haven't done it yet. I haven't put them up. I think I should get a move on because, well, it's only around 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks until Christmas. So I better get a move on. I better move my bum. I think so. Who else is here today? Hello also Verito. Nice to see you here as well. Hello to Meme. Hello Meme. Are you okay today? How are your memes today? Are they spreading around the world? You might describe something that is passed on from one person to another, something that spreads very quickly as a meme. It's a very interesting expression. But these days, people do like to communicate. They like to communicate using memes. Rather than saying things, quite often you will see people on the internet, especially on websites like Twitter, you will often see people communicating or expressing themselves using a meme. Maybe a clip from a movie, or maybe a picture, a well-known photograph that has been altered slightly. Memes. I love memes very much. Hello to Hakan, who says, I will be in London in a couple of weeks for business. Are there any new restrictions besides the mask? Well, I believe if you are coming into the UK from abroad, you will actually have to produce, I think it's something called a PCI test result, and it must be negative. So that's one of the things they are also going to change. So instead of having a little bit of quarantine, you must also make sure that you produce a PCI test result, which must be negative. If it is positive, then you will have to go into isolation, just the same as it always has been. So yes, that's one of the other things that has changed slightly. Many more restrictions of where you can actually fly from if you are coming here to the UK. I believe at the moment there are some African nations now that are on the red list. That's what we call it, you see. We have our red list of countries where you can't or you are not allowed to travel from. So that's what's happening at the moment. But I suppose the biggest one must be the masks. We all have to wear our masks again when we are in crowded places, crowded areas, not outside. So if you are outside in the fresh air, then of course you don't have to wear your mask. But if you go inside or in a place that is crowded, you have to put one of these on your face. Yes, it is back. And some people feel slightly annoyed by that. they feel as if they've been cheated because they were told that they wouldn't have to wear it. But, of course, this is one of those strange situations where circumstances change and that they can change at any moment. Who knows? By the end of today, before today ends, who knows? We might have to change something else. Something else might change. So I suppose it's a little bit unfair to expect everything to go smoothly. Sometimes there might be little surprises, little shocks, and things that we have to change, or things that we have to change back to. So there are some people who are not very happy about that. Hello. Oh, is it? Oh, it looks as if Tomek has a birthday. Is that right? Hello, Tomek. Happy birthday to you. I won't ask you how old you are because you are not supposed to ask a lady her age. So I will not ask your age, but can I say happy birthday to you? I suppose I should give you a round of applause. Is that good? Yes. Apparently, Tomek had a birthday this week and also a new job as well. Junior manager position at my work, and I will get the answer tomorrow. So it looks as if not only is Tomek another year older, but it also looks as if you might be getting a promotion in your work. So congratulations once again. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I am wearing out my applause button. I think so. We also have Rajendra. I'm sorry if I'm making mistakes today. But I have to be honest, my brain is not really working. Yes, of course, it's a PCR test, not PCI. I think that is something that you plug things into on a computer. I'm sorry about that. A PCR test, of course. So you have to have one of those. It has to be negative for you to enter the country. And if it's positive, then you will have to go into quarantine for 10 days, apparently. So that's the latest thing. I think one of the biggest things that's confusing people is that many of the rules and many of the things that have been announced or the changes that are made vary. They are different between one place and another. So you might see in one country there are certain rules that you have to abide by, but then in another country there might be completely different rules, or maybe some of the rules have been changed and you don't realise it. So I think that is one of the things. It is causing confusion. I'm not going to deny that. There is a lot of confusion around. I suppose my advice would be just check on the updates. If there are any changes, and if you are about to travel to another country or another place, then make sure you know what the new rules are. I suppose the biggest one here is the requirement, once again, to wear your mask. So when you go into a shop, or if you are on public transport, you will once again have to wear your mask, unfortunately. Oh, thank you very much. Tomek is feeling rather... I think he's a little bit moved by your kind wishes. I think so. Mr. Duncan, you are the best. Tomorrow is my English exam. Your English videos are helping me a lot. Thanks. A ton. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Pushkar. I hope you have a good exam tomorrow. I hope it goes well. I will give you one of my lucky thumbs up. But of course, I only do some of the work. I only do part of the work. The biggest part is you, the effort and the time and the work that you put into your study. So even though I do help you, at the end of the day, and after all is said and done, it is actually you who achieves the success. Hello to Mihir Bavisi. Hello, Mihir Bavisi. I hope I pronounced your name right. I hope it came out of my mouth right. Can you see I haven't had a shave today? So I haven't shaved my face for around 2 days. So this is what my face looks like if I don't shave for a couple of days, because I was in bed. I was alone, feeling very sorry for myself yesterday because Steve went out. And also he went shopping as well. I'm hoping that Steve will tell us what he bought yesterday. He has treated himself to something. Or should I say, his mother has treated Mr. Steve to something rather nice. Mayuri is here. Oh, Mayuri. Hello, Mayuri. Nice to see you as well. Here we go. This is what is going to happen. I think I need to take a little break for a moment. I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I had to drink some water and I also had to soothe my throat. Very sorry about that. So that's going to happen a lot today. So you might notice from time to time I will vanish or disappear, and that is because, well, basically, because I'm choking. Isn't that nice? So if I suddenly disappear, then you know why. I have to press my emergency button. And when I do, this happens. Like that, you see? That's good. Hello, story and lesson. I've never seen your name before on the live chat. Is it your first time here? Interesting. Very nice. Mr. Duncan. Oh dear. We're having some very interesting comments coming up on the live chat. Well, of course you are entitled to your opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean you're right. That's the only problem. Oh, Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. I've never given your name an echo before, but today I'm going to. Hello, Jimmy. Jimmy. Watching in Hong Kong. So even though my throat is bad, I can still sing a little bit. Not much. Oh, it is my first time here. Hello, story and lesson. Very interesting name. And can I give you a round of applause because it is your first time here today? Why not? Why not? That's what I say. Very nice. My real name is Miriam. Well, Miriam, welcome. You are watching my live stream. Unfortunately, over the past few days, I've not been very well, so I hope you will forgive me for my rough and croaky voice. I hope you will excuse me for that. Oh, I see. Mayori is saying, it feels as if today is my first day because I haven't attended your live stream for a month. Well, it's nice to see you back, whether you are new or whether this is your first time. You are all very welcome on my live stream. We're going to take a little break for a while. Now I'm just trying to find something that I can put on as Mr. Steve comes along, because I've just realised I haven't got anything to play. So normally I have something to play, you see, whilst Mr. Steve prepares himself. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh yes, I think we will have a compilation of funny things whilst Mr. Steve comes into the studio and prepares to join us. Is that a good idea? Okay, we will do that then. We will be right back. that was that. There is a reason for showing the snow angel, and that is because about half an hour ago it was trying to snow. Can you believe it? Okay, everyone, stand by. Here he comes. Yes, it's the man you've all been waiting for. I'm so glad he's here.
Hello.
Hello,
Mr. Duncan. I've got to be careful with my voice as well.
Why?
Because I'm still recovering from the cold that I gave you. Well, I'm assuming you got it from me.
I did.
Lovely to be here. Lovely to be with you, Mr. Duncan.
I need you today.
Do you?
You are what I call my backup. You are my backup. Or I suppose a more modern phrase would be you are my wingman. Wingman. So quite often when a man goes out looking for female company,
Not us.
he might take a friend with him to give him some moral support whilst he's there, so the man does not look so sad and lonely. It always looks better if you are with another person when you are out looking for a date or looking for that special someone. Apparently at this time of year, Steve, people start looking for a little bit of casual love to keep them going during the
You mean single people?
Still single people, yes. I suppose we should make sure that that's clear. Single people are looking for a little bit of casual love during the holiday season as Christmas approaches. So apparently this is quite common. This happens. They call it snow globing. Apparently snow globing. A snow globe is when you have a relationship with someone over the holiday period, during the Christmas period, so you are not alone.
Well, it's understandable. Christmas is that time of year for a lot of people where if you are alone, it can be very sad and depressing. So it's very understandable that you would want to be with somebody over Christmas,
yes.
Even if it was just family,
Yes.
for example. So yes, at this time of the year, people try and find somebody, and then they dump them in the new year, don't they? This snow globing phrase refers to the fact that people will try and find somebody for the Christmas period, and then one or other of them may be upset because one just then dumps them in the new year because they've only been using them for company.
Yes.
And comfort during that period.
That's it. So it's a very interesting, I suppose, if both people know what the situation is. So if both people in the relationship know that it's casual and will only last for a short time. So just after New Year's Day, they will say, okay, thanks. It's been really good having some time with you and keeping each other company. And now they might go their separate ways. Or, of course, sometimes, Steve, they might decide that they are actually in love.
Could happen.
And they decide that maybe it is a relationship and they want to stay together. So it's not always temporary.
Might meet at a Christmas party. And of course, if you're going to visit friends and family, there is pressure, isn't there, that you're not... Sometimes there is pressure that to find somebody to take along because it's nice not to be on your own at a party somewhere. So, yes, maybe we should break up and then we can find, see how much fun we can have snow globing at this Christmas.
The only problem is I am sure that no one would want us.
True.
That's you and I. So not both of us, but or just you. But I don't think anyone would want us nearby or near them at Christmas time.
We're not the only ones, by the way, suffering from colds, bad throats. I mean, Addy has also said, who of course is in the UK, has also mentioned that he's got one. And there is something called a super cold. They're calling it a super cold, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah. There is nothing super about it, by the way.
There is a cold that people are having because a lot of people haven't been catching colds because of lockdowns over the past 2 years. Our resistance to colds has reduced, and now when we're getting them, because we're out and about and meeting people, there's a particular cold that's really affecting people and really laying them low, making them feel bad and sick for a long period of time because our immune systems haven't been primed to this sort of regular exposure to these types of seasonal viruses.
Yes.
So a lot of people are getting it. A few people at work have been off for like a week. I didn't get it too badly, but you have really been affected because you don't usually get affected with colds at all. I have them all the time. I bring them back home. I probably have 3 or 4 a year.
Yes.
And you never get them, but this one, you've had it worse than me. So I'm not quite sure why. But
and I'm still suffering, by the way. I still have it. So now and again today, you might notice that we disappear. If we suddenly vanish, then the reason is because I'm choking.
Belarusia is cooking again every week.
Claudia is busy in the kitchen.
Claudia as well.
No, that's Claudia.
Oh, yes.
Belarusia is Claudia.
Well, it doesn't come up. Right, okay.
Okay.
Well, I call Claudia or Claudia Belarusia because that's how she appears on the live chat.
That's all right.
And cooking meat and potatoes.
Oh.
That sounds like the perfect combination.
Sounds nice.
Always cooking something. Haven't we got congratulations? Have you already... Isn't Tomek got something going on or had a birthday or a promotion or something, did you say?
Both.
Both?
So last week for Tomek, he had a birthday and also it looks like he will also be getting a promotion in his job. I believe it's managerial.
Oh.
I'm not... Now, we don't know Tomek very well. We don't know most of you very well. That's one of the things we sometimes talk about this, don't we?
Yes.
We don't actually know any of you very well. However, you probably know more about us. I wish I could speak today. You know more about us than we do about you. But I have a feeling that Tomek might be a strict and harsh boss.
He's going up in the world. That's what you say when somebody gets a promotion, gets a better job. We say that they're going up in the world. It's an expression that is commonly used in the UK. Oh, you're going up in the world.
Yes.
If somebody buys a bigger house or they get a better job or a bigger car, you can say, oh, you're going up in the world.
Yeah. Another one you can use is you have a step up the ladder.
Step up the ladder.
You go from one level, you go up to the next level. So if you are working in a job and you are just general staff, and then you get a promotion, maybe you will be promoted to supervisor or assistant manager or maybe even manager. Oh, fancy pants.
I was a manager in a previous job, in a previous, long time ago, 25 years ago.
Wow.
And I didn't like it. I did it for 4 years. I was a sales manager and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I left and then went back to just doing sales.
I think it would be fair to say that you are not management material.
Well, it's not that. I'm quite a people person. But when people don't do what I expect them to do...
Okay. Can I just?
Then I get quite stressed.
Can I tell everyone what you were doing this morning? Because Mr. Steve is such a people person. He loves people. No, nothing.
All right, okay.
We're there, Steve. Steve, we have to do something.
A cough break.
Just a moment. Well, that was fun. We're back. We're back.
I have to tell you, Mr. Duncan, when we leave, and Mr. Duncan puts that on the screen, he's literally having a coughing fit
I was just choking my guts up.
and bringing up all sorts of horrible,
Okay.
should we say green? Is it green?
Yes, the colour that I am bringing from my lungs and my throat is a lovely shade of green.
Yes.
Steady.
And of course, the atmosphere is very smoky around here at the moment because everyone's lighting their fires annoyingly, which is making things even worse. I was going to mention something about Tomek as well, because
Yes.
if Tomek is watching, I think he is, that at work, talking of sales, so I'm in sales. I think Tomek is as well. I'm not entirely sure. But
Okay.
we've got something at work that we're doing a course at the moment, which is from the Netherlands, called the Energy Project, which I thought it was quite interesting. I wonder if Tomek's watching. Has he heard of this?
Yes. Is this to do with motivation?
It's to do with managing your energy levels during the working day.
Oh dear.
And I mean, there's nothing really new in there that we probably didn't know already, but it's sort of, it's about taking breaks and not carrying on all the day. It's about making sure that you've got enough energy to do all the tasks you want to do during the day, and what is the best way of doing that, the worst way being just never stopping. So just wondering whether, if Tomek's watching, if he's heard of the Energy Project. It's something from the Netherlands that we're using here in the company I work for.
If I had my way, if I was the boss of a company, I would allow everyone to have half an hour's sleep at around about 2:30. I always find during the working day, when I used to work all the time, some people say that I don't work anymore, but I do. This is work, trust me. But I would say that around about 2:30 to around 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the worst period at work. I don't know why. That period of time always seems to go by so slowly. So I think to make the day go faster, we should all be allowed to have half an hour's sleep at around about 2:30 in the afternoon. So everyone at work. So you can all just stop what you're doing and then have a little rest, a little sleep, and then go back to work afterwards. And I think the afternoon then will be more pleasant.
Well, of course, in many countries, I think they do it. They used to do it, certainly in France, in Spain, and many European countries. They do have a long break in the afternoon, and then work more into the evening hours. You see, in the UK, we've always had this very strict 9 to 5.
Yes.
Working hours policy.
Yeah. So you start at 9, you finish at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we often call that 9 to 5.
With just a 1 hour break at lunchtime, usually between maybe 1 and 2, or 12:30 and 1:30. But particularly, I think it's mainly to do with countries where the weather is a lot hotter. Then people will take a longer break in the afternoon, and then the shops, for example, and offices reopen later on in the afternoon when it's cooled off a bit, and then people work later on into the evening. So they'll probably do the same hours, but with a larger gap in the afternoon.
It happens.
Whether that still happens now?
Yes,
or not.
Certainly hot countries do, and I know in China they have very long rests. Most people sleep just after lunch. They will have about 40 minutes or maybe an hour to sleep as well before they go back to work in the afternoon. Anyway, Steve, we have some things to talk about today. We have the live chat. We have me here. We have Mr. Steve, who is doing his best to suppress his coughs. Now, you went out yesterday and left me all alone.
Well, yes.
So I was sick yesterday, but Steve went out yesterday and you went to do a little bit of shopping.
Well, I wondered whether you'd mentioned something, because if you, a couple of people have asked, what did I buy yesterday?
Yes.
So you've already told them everything that
No,
I did
no,
yesterday.
I haven't.
I'm joking.
Okay. So let me get to the point. So Steve yesterday went out shopping. His mother decided to treat him to something very nice, and this is
For
something.
Christmas.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, I don't think we need to specify, but a mother can be generous at any time. But yes, Steve is having an early Christmas present. Okay, let me carry on telling the story. I will get to the end of this story, honestly. And quite often Steve is very good because he doesn't buy things all the time. So he will wear his clothes. He will wear them until they virtually fall to pieces. And he has some lovely suits that he wears for work. The only problem is he often wears them out. So because he wears them a lot. So he's decided to get a new suit because the other ones are starting to fall to pieces, especially the trousers. That's all I'm saying. But your mother said, treat yourself to a new suit, and then she will pay for it.
Well,
So
up
that's-
to a certain amount
Yes, anyway, that's not really important. That's not part of the story.
for Christmas.
Let me just... But Steve is a fussy person. He's quite fussy sometimes. So he wants a suit that you can actually put in the washing machine. And there are suits, smart suits that you wear for the office or for work that you can actually wash in the washing machine. But you had a lot of difficulty finding one.
Yes, so for many years now, I've always bought machine washable suits for work. Because normally you have to have a suit dry cleaned because it contains wool.
Yes, they're horrible to treat.
And I hate the inconvenience of having to have a suit dry cleaned. And what happens is that, I mean, if you don't tend to do it very often because it's inconvenient. You've got to take it somewhere. You've got to then remember to go back and it could be out of you. I hate that kind of inconvenience. Plus, I think if you were wearing a pair of jeans every day, like you would a suit, trousers for work, how often would you want to actually wash those trousers? You'd
it.
probably want to wash them at least once a week.
Yeah, or
but
else...
you don't when it's dry when a suit needs dry cleaning because you can't be totally inconvenient to take it every week.
Anyway,
So yes, so I discovered many years ago you can buy machine washable suits.
okay.
They don't look quite as nice as the standard suit, but you just put them in the washing machine on a very gentle wash, and then you just hang them out, and virtually the jacket doesn't need ironing, the trousers need ironing, they don't shrink, it's perfect. So
Yeah.
I buy 2 pairs of trousers with suits, and then I can wash one, and the other one I can be wearing and ironing, and it's brilliant. But I have struggled to find one
Yeah,
this year. But yes, because for whatever reason, a lot of the shops now won't stock all the items. They'll only stock certain ones. But I found one. But I've went to a shop, tried. You have to order it online.
that's it. So
order it online.
There's still a little bit of waiting. So, but quite often. But I remember the days, Steve, where you would go to a shop and you had to have your suit made. And you would have to wait for about 2 or 3 weeks whilst they made it.
Well-
So quite often you can go into a suit shop and pick one and buy it straight away. But yours is a little bit more difficult to get hold of.
Only because it's a machine washable one. So
Yes.
they said to me, try this style on, see if you like this style. And if you do, we can order it. The same style, the size, because we don't stock the machine washable ones. You
No.
have to order those online.
Yes.
So, couldn't just... if you can just... I'm lucky because I'm a sort of... must be quite a standard size for a man. I can always manage to pick a suit that fits straight off the shelf, off the peg, as we say.
Everything of Steve, all of the sizes are fairly standard, except one thing. I won't say what.
And that's oversized. No, I'm going to no. So yes, yes. For some people, if they're, for example, if they might have short legs or something,
Yes.
or they might be their proportions don't fit with what are standard size suits you can get off the shelf.
Yes.
But I've always been lucky in that I can do that. So I don't have to have a suit made, which costs obviously a lot of money. But yeah, anyway, that's the story.
Yeah.
Mum said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "Well, I do need a new suit." And she said, "Right, I'll buy you that." What she doesn't realise is it costs twice as much
Yes.
as what she wanted to spend on me. But that's fine. She can combine it with my birthday present, which is in February, and pay for the lot.
That's it. So when your birthday arrives early next year, you won't get anything from your mummy because
won't get anything.
she's already bought you your suit.
Unless she's forgotten.
Yes.
I do think it's a little embarrassing that, at the age of 60, my mother is still buying me clothes.
No.
Is that slightly embarrassing?
No.
Should I be admitting to that?
What? No, well, mothers always treat their children, no matter how old they are. If they're 40, 50, 60, and as long as the parent, of course, is still alive, they will treat their children to something. They will treat their children to something
Our
nice.
friend Martin is watching today.
Martin.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, Martin. Nice to see you here today.
Friend of mine from many
Yeah.
of the acting groups that I'm with. And we've acted together many times on stage.
Acting.
Thank you for that. We are professional, even though they are amateur groups.
Anyway, Steve.
He's got a show coming up this week, I think.
Okay.
So
What,
good luck with that,
are you
Martin.
I thought you were going to
A
advertise it.
concert. Yes.
Oh, okay, Steve.
I'm just saying.
I thought for a moment you were going to advertise it.
But
So
has
if
anyone...
you fancy flying from wherever you are in the world to go and see Martin's show, tickets are available.
Yes, definitely. What was I going to say? Yes, well, Adi could go because, not living very far away.
Addy.
Yeah, we're advertising. If anyone wants to visit, if anyone wants to go to a Christmas-style concert this week, I think it's Friday and Saturday, we will go if we can.
Yes.
Then let us know. And if you're in the UK, it's in the Midlands near Birmingham, in a place called Tipton.
I was just making a joke there, by the way. I wasn't being serious.
Free advertising, Martin.
I can't
Show.
imagine anyone flying from the other side of the world.
Any gifts for Mr. Duncan, says Christina.
Nothing. Can you believe he came back yesterday with all things that he'd bought and he didn't buy me anything? However,
I did.
yes, I'm going to say now, Steve, he did buy me some throat tablets.
Exactly.
I don't want to show them.
Too late.
Some throat tablets. So that's what Mr. Steve bought for me yesterday. Isn't that lovely? How thoughtful.
Lots of people saying that their mothers buy clothes for them. Marty D is saying that. And so is Maori. Maori is saying that as well. It's more embarrassing when they come into the shop with you.
Oh, yes.
Because that has happened. We have gone out when I visited my mother, and she said, "Do you want to go anywhere?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I need to buy a new pair of jeans or something."
I need some new underpants, Mum.
Bearing in mind I'm 60, my mother's 90. So there we go into a shop. Now I'm not and then suddenly at the last minute, so I've chosen whatever I want to buy. Then my mother says, "I'll buy it for you," at the till.
Yes.
As though, here's my card. It's like a little embarrassing. It's almost like, oh my God. You think the assistants are thinking, man of his age, his elderly mother still buying him clothes?
I don't think there's anything embarrassing about that.
I just find it a little. It's like I'm a failure in life. That's what it makes me feel like at that point.
That's a whole different subject altogether. But one of the interesting things is I've noticed that men's clothing for the office or formal clothing has changed. I don't think men wear ties anymore. Have you noticed this?
Well, yes. I mean, many office workplaces now, you don't have to wear a suit at all. I mean, the standard clothing for a man in any kind of sort of business environment was always a suit and tie. I mean, we used to wear hats, didn't we? Bowler hats up until about the 1960s or 70s in the UK. A hat for a man was required dress code.
Yes.
Just walking, just doing your job naturally.
Yes.
But that's gone.
I was telling you last night, my Uncle Vic, my lovely Uncle Vic, who I used to think was the coolest person ever. I think everyone has a cool uncle at some point when they're growing up. And my Uncle Vic would always wear a tie, whatever he was doing. He could be in the garden trimming his daffodils or mowing the grass, and he would still wear his tie, a shirt and tie to do the gardening.
Many men of that generation, sort of who grew up maybe in the 30s and 40s, who were born then, you would see them, or earlier, you would always see elderly men in their gardens wearing a tie.
Yes.
And smart clothes doing gardening.
Well, not just elderly.
Yes.
It was just normal.
It was just normal, even if you were in your garden in this country.
It wasn't because they wanted to look smart. It was just that was it. That was what you did. You went out of the house to the shops. You put a tie on. A little bit like maybe over 100 years ago when people used to wear hats. Hats. Now, as you know, I like hats very much. I do love hats. But men used to wear hats all the time.
Yes.
And there were so many different styles of hat. As the fashions changed, the hats would also change. Sometimes they would be flat. Sometimes they would be made of straw. Sometimes they would be very tall. Sometimes they would be round or oval, such as the bowler hat.
Well, if you look at any old video footage taken in factories, outside factories and workplaces, at any period, sort of from the 1960s, 50s, 40s, 30s.
Did they have video then?
When film was taken, everyone was wearing a hat. It doesn't matter what the job was, whether it was a factory, whether it was a work. It was just everybody wore a hat. And in fact, I think it should come back because you need to have your head covered, I think, to protect yourself from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. So I think actually it's making people's health worse by not having a hat. Because, I mean, for example, me with no hair, it's dangerous to go outside for long periods of time without a hat on because you risk getting, melanomas, skin cancer.
Yes.
So I think that's probably, I don't know whether that's why people used to wear hats many years ago, but it's now unfashionable to wear a hat.
No.
And in fact, So I put some factor,
Okay.
Anyway, right.
This is moving well away
People
from...
have said yes.
So what I was saying, Steve,
yes,
ties, neckties, do not seem to be fashionable anymore. Yeah, I love wearing my tie. I don't wear it all the time, but I like putting my tie on sometimes just to look presentable and, dare I say, professional. But I don't wear it all the time. But I have noticed that the fashions have changed.
They have. Yes. A few people have commented about my mother buying me gifts. Yes. Beatrice says, you have a sweet and lovely mum. Enjoy that you have the possibility for her to buy clothes. Yes, yeah. I'm joking a bit when I said what I said. And Tomek says, makes a point as well that I let my parents indulge me every now and then. Yes, because if I say no to my mother, she gets upset. If I say, no, Mum, I don't want you to buy that, I'm fine. She gets upset because she just wants to buy me something. It's
like an instinct.
Yes.
The mothering instinct never goes.
So I don't say no anymore.
No.
It's slightly embarrassing when it's being done in front of other people in a shop.
Yes. She even buys things for me
She
sometimes.
does.
She buys things for me. So maybe I'm going to the shop as well with Steve, and then I'm buying a nice T-shirt or something. I think Steve has a runny nose.
I didn't want
but yes, Steve's mother also buys things for me as well sometimes. Not always, sometimes. A little treat for Mr. Steve from his mum, and a little treat for me from Mr. Steve's mum. Isn't that lovely?
Yes, Inaki makes the point. Mothers will always be mothers. Doesn't matter how old you are. They still see me. I think my mother still sees me as a little boy, smiling up at her from the cot. And of course it is that bond between parent and child never really goes in a lot of cases. So yes, you're right. I shouldn't object. I should just accept it and let my mother enjoy buying me a gift. So yes, thank you for that.
Yes.
Just be a good son and say thank you, Mummy.
Rosa,
yeah, exactly.
Rosa makes the same point. Smile and hug your parents while they are there.
Yeah.
There is a song called Turembala. It has a deep letter, or it has a deep meaning, maybe. So yes, I think so. Thank you, Latif. Yes, parents. We often complain about our parents when they are around. Sometimes maybe they are annoying, sometimes, but we can all be annoying. Steve, can you believe this? Sometimes Steve can be annoying. Okay, most of the time. But yes, it happens. It happens.
Yes, it does. I just need to accept it and not worry.
Valentin says, just look at the pictures from New York and everywhere around that period taken in the 1930s. Literally all the male are wearing hats.
Yes.
I think, and you know me, I am a hat lover. I do like wearing hats. I think one day hats will come back. Of course, baseball hats like these are always popular, but people don't seem to wear them very often anymore. So when you see a person wearing a hat, sometimes you think, oh, they're wearing a hat. Oh, a hat. Very interesting. Yet, I think in the future, they will come back.
Everything comes round. The trouble with a baseball hat is it's very good covering your head, but it doesn't cover the tops of your ears, so they get exposed to the sun.
I always notice my hat pushes my ears right out.
Yes,
So
you need to lift it up a bit at the back.
but I can't, because then it doesn't fit
Oh,
properly.
there we go. Mrs. E.
But that looks stupid.
No, I think that's better.
I think it looks better like that with my ears sticking out. There you go.
Yeah, that's it, Vitas. Everything comes round again. I'm sure that big, baggy, flared jeans will one day come back.
Yes.
Because that's something I've discovered now, because I haven't bought a suit for maybe about 8 years, that the style has changed dramatically.
Definitely.
It's all very skinny and almost drain pipe on the legs.
Everything's tight.
And I think I can show off my slim figure, Mr. Duncan.
Well,
I don't need to worry.
No, you still have a slim figure. You do. But yes,
lucky.
tight suits. It has to look as if the button at the front is about to pop off.
Yes.
That's how tight everything has to be nowadays.
Well, the assistant in the shop, I tried the jacket on and I thought, well, this is a bit tight, and it did feel very tight. He even suggested to me I ought to go for a size lower. He said, no, and I could just do the button up, but, he wanted me to go for a size, even narrower size. Of course, I had to tell him that I'm normally much bulkier than this, with all my bodybuilding, but I've had to not do it recently because of my shoulder injury. So,
Okay.
had to allow for me turning back into a real muscular hunk and being able to fit into the jacket.
I don't know who that person is. It's definitely not you. So it is interesting that certain things that, certainly when I grew up, my granddad was another one who always used to wear a tie. I used to go around to their house and he would always have a tie on. And I always remember my granddad. He would always stand by the fireplace, and he'd have a little tin of snuff, and he'd pinch it and put it up his nose, and then he'd sneeze a couple of times, and then he would blow his nose into a handkerchief, and it was all sort of brown. It's quite disgusting. But I always remember that of my granddad. He used to take snuff. I wonder if people still do that. Snuff.
Probably rare. Isn't it powdered tobacco?
Yes, it's
Tobacco leaves.
If you want to get cancer, I would imagine snorting that straight into your nose is not a good idea.
Well, there used to be a habit chewing tobacco. People used to buy tobacco leaves and chew them and hold that in their mouths. And in fact, I know two people. One was a doctor and they both got mouth cancer as a result of long-term use of chewing tobacco. So I don't imagine one being a doctor. But I've forgotten the point I was making there. But yes, chewing tobacco, snuff, not a good idea.
No, it's something that we know or we've known for many years is bad for you. But it doesn't mean, just because, that's actually a good point you've just made there, Steve.
Really?
Just because a doctor is a doctor, we often assume that they will take good care of themselves. But you've told me some horror stories about doctors that you've been to see, and they normally have maybe a bottle of whiskey in their drawer, or maybe they're smoking like a chimney. And you would imagine if a person is a doctor, they would know that they shouldn't do that too much or do it at all. But it is interesting, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I mean, I used to have a job where I used to have to go and see doctors as part of my job. And, you go to see them, and this is going back not that long ago, and they finished seeing all their patients, and they'd offer you a glass of whiskey or... there was one I used to go and see that he was a chain smoker, and you went into his consultation room, and it was just smoke everywhere.
He always had a fag in his mouth.
Yes, he did, and he incidentally, a sad story. His receptionist that had been with him for 30 years died of lung cancer.
Oh. Yes, well, that's the other
this
thing.
Particular doctor.
That's the other thing, if you're...
She'd obviously... I mean, not saying that was the cause,
but it's a coincidence.
A doctor that smokes. It's like, I always think, if you go to a doctor and they're trying to advise you about things which are beneficial to your health... For example, you can always tell if somebody smokes. You can smell it on their breath, even when they're not smoking. So if you went to a doctor and he said, stop smoking, he or she said, don't smoke.
Or they,
then you would have, if you knew they were a smoker or could smell smoke, you would think they were being hypocritical. It's the same as going to see a doctor and the doctor is obese.
Well, that's the modern equivalent.
And they're telling you to lose weight. They themselves are overweight.
My suggestion is you should lose some weight. And you can't take it seriously. So if the doctor is fat and he's telling you not to eat so much food, it is hard to take the advice.
Which brings to mind the well-known expression, do as I say, not as I do. So that's saying that it doesn't matter what I do. I'm telling you should do something, even though I'm not doing it myself. Don't do as I do as I say.
Yes.
And that's a well-known expression that people use when you say, oh, but you do it. And then somebody says, well, no, don't do as I do as I say.
Another one is one rule for one person and another rule for someone else. So you might give advice, but you don't take your own advice. So yes, I like that. That's pretty good. We are talking about something else in a few moments, Steve. Something that annoys me. I don't want to start moaning too much about things, but something that annoys me. When you get your mail in the morning, it comes through your letterbox. It goes bing. It comes through your letterbox and drops onto the mat. And it's always an exciting moment, isn't it?
When you get your mail in the morning,
Yeah.
it's always an exciting moment.
I like to get my mail through my letterbox, and there's nothing more exciting than receiving some mail in your letterbox.
Oh, post. You mean post. Your
Yeah.
post.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
that's what
Yes.
it did mean. So, but I've noticed sometimes we get a lot of something called junk mail. Junk mail. And can I just say, quite often the junk mail is completely inappropriate or not connected to anything that we want. And
Yes.
that's the thing that always gets me. So I've got some here. Some junk mail. Here's some junk mail. So this is something I received the other day. Prefer to stay in. It's a question. So this is from the Royal Mail, the people that actually deliver the mail, the letters and the parcels to you. And they're now offering a service where they will pick your parcels and your letters. If you want to post something, you can stay in your house. You don't have to even leave the house anymore to post your letters.
Really?
Yes.
Sounds like quite a good idea.
So this is a new thing that they've just introduced. But really, isn't that just lazy? Isn't that just the laziest thing? You can't even be bothered to go to the post box.
Well.
Please, you've got to get some exercise. But so I think this is making people more lazy. So I don't think this applies to me. I don't think so. I think we still have to have some exercise.
This is the post office trying to get on the bandwagon of people now, the Amazon generation, as they're calling it, where people don't even leave the house anymore to buy anything. So, but the one thing you still have to do to post a letter is go out to the post office, or for a parcel you have to go to the post office to have it weighed to put the stamps on. So they're trying to cash in or capitalise on the Amazon generation who don't want to go out anywhere anymore, and of course the COVID and all that. So actually I think it's a good idea.
Here's another one. I've got to get through these quickly.
Yes, I know.
I've only got a dozen. Would you like to go and see the Northern Lights?
We had that through our letterbox, did we?
That came through the letterbox.
We call it junk mail because we didn't ask for it.
This is junk mail. We did not ask for this, but you can go and see the Northern Lights, and you can be pulled along by some husky dogs. I like being pulled along by something husky.
Well, I think haven't there been some significant solar flares?
Yes, but the problem
recently?
is, the problem
Meaning,
is,
yeah.
the problem is there are many travel restrictions.
Yes.
So I think maybe going there might be difficult.
But I think when we have this high solar activity periods,
Yes.
which we're going through one now, the Northern Lights come further south, so you don't have to necessarily go to Nordic countries or to the Arctic Circle.
They are called the Aurora Borealis.
So they are saying now you might be able to see this in northern England because of the activity, because it's all to do with the sun's activity.
Yes, when the solar flares come out, and as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it almost looks as if it's igniting. It's quite amazing. Anyway, I don't need this.
Are we going?
No. Are we going? No, we're not. Are we going? No, we're not going.
To wherever it is.
No.
Is it
I don't want to go here.
Where is it? Iceland? Where have you got to go to see the Northern Lights?
Where do you think it is?
But you might be able to just wait here or travel to Scotland because, this year.
This is actually to Norway.
Norway.
Yes.
Norway. Oh, the fjords! I'd love to. I saw an advertisement the other day for a holiday to go to go on a boat to travel the fjords of Norway. That would be, I think, a lovely trip.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Here's another one. Oh, look at this! A glamour fashion magazine.
Oh, right.
But it's only for ladies. It's all ladies' clothing. So unless Mr. Steve has a secret that he's not telling me about, I don't think this is any use to us, really.
It's a scattergun effect, isn't
Yes.
it? If you the advertisers pay the Royal Mail to deliver these into our doors, but it's like having a scattergun effect, or they try to throw lots of mud at the wall and hope some of it sticks. So they put it in every house in all the country in the hope that 1% of people will do it,
Yes.
and that they will get a return on their investment of printing all those things out and paying the Royal Mail to deliver them.
Yes. So they call it a mail shot. So in the industry, they actually call it a mail shot. So imagine shooting a gun or a weapon, and out of the end, all of the junk mail will fly and land quite often on your doorstep.
I'd love to go and see that. Can I mention something quickly?
Okay.
I'll tell you what's a particularly annoyance to me of junk mail is that when you're already purchasing a product from a particular company, you still get the junk mail from that company
Yes. Well, that's.
asking you to buy something off them.
I don't know if you are psychic, but that's exactly what I was about to say.
Really?
Yeah.
So supermarkets, for example, there's a particular supermarket that we use regularly, and yet they continually send us junk mail giving us offers that we can only use if we're a new customer.
Yes.
That is really annoying.
Yes.
So, get £10 off your delivery, new customers only.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm already buying it, so that actually makes me annoyed because I
Yes.
think, well, why don't you give me some money back off my orders for ordering off you every 2 weeks for the last 5 years?
This sounds like a conversation you have with your mum sometimes when you're moaning. Here we go. So this is a company that we already deal with, but they still send
Yes.
junk mail.
BT.
So this is British Telecom, and we happen to have their service already. But they keep sending junk mail, asking us as if we would like to have their service. But we already have it.
You would think that in this day and age of technology that they could filter out from their list of customers, their email list or their list of all the people that they're sending junk mail to. You'd think they would be able to match that up and take out the ones that are already buying those products from them, because it's very annoying.
So we get advertisements and junk mail from British Telecom, even though we already use this service.
A supermarket.
In fact, that is how I am coming to you now. Ooh, fancy pants. Here's another one, Steve.
Oh, right. Okay.
We get a lot of charities writing to us at this time of year. So there we go. Look, Crisis. This is a well-known charity helping people who are, I think it's for people who are homeless or need temporary shelter. So this is something we get quite often through the door.
Charities.
Yes. So charities often, especially at this time of year around Christmas, because they seem to assume that we are more generous. So we often get more requests for donations to charities as well. Also, here's a good one. Stair lifts. If you are elderly and you have difficulty getting up the stairs, you can have a stair lift.
Yes.
Do they think already we are over the hill? We are not over the hill. We are not old age pensioners yet. So it's stair lift.
Something I've noticed, I don't know whether that's in your list of junk mail, is that we've also begun to start having junk mail from companies that are advertising nursing homes and retirement homes.
Yes, retirement homes.
Because we're on a list somewhere where, a mailing list somewhere where our age is known, or because of the area we live in. I mean, you don't really want to be, you don't want to think about going into a retirement home when you're well.
Yeah.
So that makes you think that, don't like it. Don't like that, Mr. Duncan.
No. So, and Oh, here's a good one. Autumn Smartphone says, do you ever get advertisements for funerals? Well, yes, there is. We have had leaflets like this come through our door, and they are advertising cremation services, funeral services, and you can pay for your funeral. It says, why not start paying for your funeral today? And that's not the sort of thing you want to see first thing in the morning after getting out of bed and facing another day.
Particularly with your bad cough.
Yes, or anything. So, yes, we do have those sometimes. Yes, funeral directors, funeral companies that offer insurance that you pay, and then when you snuff it, they will pay for your funeral. Oh, here's a good one. Talking of funerals, this is one we got the other day. Where will suffering ever end? Now, already, as soon as I saw this, Steve, I knew that this was from the Jehovah's Witnesses, and it was. So the Jehovah's Witnesses, a religious group, and there are a lot around here. I was surprised to find that there are a lot of organisations, religious organisations, and one of the most common ones is the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes.
Yes. So this is the sort of thing they send. Will suffering ever end?
And there's a picture of somebody suffering. So you might be in a low point in your life, you're suffering, and you identify with that picture on the front, and then you open it up, and what do you see? Salvation is at hand. There is a happy person, obviously reading a religious book. The answer is, come to us.
Jehovah's Witnesses. But of course, we are not religious, either of us. So that's no good.
Yes, I know. Yeah, exactly. Sorry if anyone is a Jehovah's Witness watching us, but we object to having that through our door. Well, if we don't object, it's actually we find it quite amusing.
No, it gives us a bit of fun. I once had a person from the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on my door, and I had a lovely chat with them for around 40 minutes. And I think they wanted to go, which rarely happens. Normally they get the door slammed in their face. But I wanted to have a chat with them. I was very interested to actually talk to them.
They've got a certain reputation for being quite manipulative.
Religious.
In the UK. But anyway, people are talking about smoking. Lewis said, hello Lewis, that stopping smoking was the most difficult experience of his life. And it is, I know, because my father was a heavy smoker, and he could never stop. I mean, it's highly addictive. We know all that. And in fact, he only stopped when he was seriously ill as a result of the smoking.
And then it was too late.
Well, I mean, he still had a few years, but Beatrice says, I think it was Beatrice, blah, 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 where are we? That it's if you, who said, I'm just trying to look for that, I think was it Oimoim? I can't remember, that when you have a heart attack, it's easy to make that decision because, yes, a lot of people, but that's a lot of people with health issues. You do things which you know are unhealthy, but because you don't see that, you don't think anything's happening to you, a lot of the time we only react to it when something happens.
Yes.
But then often it's too late. But
we often describe that as a wake-up call. Yeah. You have a wake-up call. So maybe you are smoking a lot, and then suddenly one day you cough, and then suddenly there's a little bit of blood, and you think, and you go to the doctor, and they say, you've got something seriously wrong with you, and then they treat it, and you are able to carry on with your life. But afterwards, you will definitely never smoke another cigarette ever again.
Yes, Autumn Smartphone. They have very nice leaflets, yes. But they're all the same. It's always... I always feel that they're trying to prey on you in a way, to use, that's a bit of an ironic phrase to use, that you're trying to get you at a low point in your life,
Yes.
and saying that the answer is what they have to offer. I mean, maybe it's true.
You might find that happy people who are completely content very rarely become religious. However, people who are miserable and they hate their life, they are more vulnerable to becoming religious. I know you might disagree, but I think that's just a general thing, you see, just generally. So quite often, if you want someone to join your religion, you will often look for people who are feeling a little bit down or down on their luck.
Vitas has told us a joke. Student, would you punish me for something I didn't do? Teacher says, of course not. And then student replies, good, because I haven't done my homework.
That's a good one.
We've had a few jokes today.
Yes, I think Vitas is becoming a comedian. I think so.
What is a bean burger? A bean burner? Yes, a bean burner. I thought, what is a bean burner? Raphael says, I used to call them the bean burners.
Well, I would imagine
to Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, I don't know what. Let's not go into that just in case it's something really rude. Tom Rocks says we are Mr. Duncan witnesses. What a terrible thing to have to witness.
This is a kind of a religious movement, isn't it? Yes, well, yeah.
There's no answer to that.
Valentin makes a comment about funerals and says that, why not order your smart caskets online?
Yes.
2 for the price of 1.
They could bury you in a giant mobile phone case and then put all of your mobile devices in there with you. But make sure they're fully charged. Yes. So we are looking at junk mail, words connected to having junk mail, and that's a little subject we're going to look at.
That's interesting, Raphael. An answer to what does bean burners mean? It means that when you're you forget that you've got something in the oven while talking to the Jehovah's Witnesses, because they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and then you go back and discover that what you've put in the oven has burnt.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the door and Jehovah's Witnesses are there, it's often the conversation goes on for a long period of time. And, of course, in this case, beans in the oven, whatever it is burnt.
Yes.
Bean burners. I like that.
So it distracts you away from the thing you are doing.
Yes.
Yes. But quite often people would just close the door in their faces. They would just...
I mean, I'm always pleasant. It's just not worth engaging anymore because you can never win, can you? Because they've always got an answer, even if it's totally illogical. They believe it, so...
And we're back. I wish you could see what's happening.
It's disgusting.
But it is really disgusting.
It's disgusting.
If you want to see somebody choking and almost suffocating on their own tongue, then...
Yes, Mosin, the subject of religion is sensitive, so we've got to be careful what we say.
Well, we were just mentioning that because that's one of the things we often get. We often get mail, and also we often get calls to the house in person.
Everyone is entitled to their beliefs.
Yes, okay, Steve. As we don't talk about it, Steve.
As long as it doesn't injure me,
okay,
I'm fine.
Then. Okay, Steve?
Right.
So, junk mail. We often see junk mail as unsolicited correspondence. So that is the formal way of saying junk mail. So we often say junk mail, but in fact what we actually mean is unsolicited correspondence.
Right. Interesting.
Something we've received that we did not want or we did not ask for, maybe from something that's come from a person we don't know. So junk mail can be described formally as unsolicited correspondence.
Can I just add something to that, Mr.
You
Duncan?
can.
Have you finished what you wanted to say?
Mm-hmm.
Unsolicited correspondence can also apply to things like emails.
Which I will be talking about.
Yes, and you've got to be careful these days. Quite often, if you are communicating with people via email, that you have permission to contact them, and maybe if you're giving them, for example, my job is sales, and I have to be very careful that I don't send emails to people that seem to be promotional. But I haven't got their permission beforehand. And you have to be very careful with this. I have to be very careful with this in my line of work because I could have a complaint made against me if I don't word that email correctly or send proper official emails, or that they have already signed an agreement to allow me to send them emails in the first place. It's become quite a big thing over the last few years.
Yes. So there are a lot of laws and rules around now about sending unsolicited correspondence. So I suppose it would be fair to say most of it consists of advertisements. So I think it would be fair to say that's what most of it consists of.
And quite often when you sign up to a product or a service online, you have to tick boxes to say that you are happy to receive correspondence, and you can deselect that, can't you, or unsubscribe.
I think most people make sure that they don't get it. Here's another one. Unwanted emails are also junk. So we often refer to emails that we don't want, and let's face it, we often get them. I know that my official email address for all of this, I get more junk mail than anything else. Sometimes, the average month, I get around 500 junk emails. Just rubbish from everyone. Lots of Nigerian princes who have $20 million in their bank account that they want to give to me. And all I have to do is send them the bank charges for it. So all I have to do is send them a small percentage of that, and then they will send me the $200 million. Isn't that great?
You're no idiot, Mr. Duncan.
No, I'm definitely not going to fall for that one. So I do get a lot. I get a lot of. What of the strange thing is, Steve? Oh, I wish I could speak today. It's horrible. It's like talking through sandpaper. One of the strange things I've noticed is when people try to con you on the internet through junk mail, quite often they will use religion. They will say, I hope God is with you today, and then they try to con you. So
Despicable. Despicable.
So they really do try anything to trick you into sending money somehow. So unwanted emails are often referred to as junk. Junk emails are often referred to as spam.
Right.
Spam. So I love that word. So they send you something to your email address, but you did not ask for it. It came into your email box, but you don't want it. So we often describe it as spam.
Do we know why it's called spam?
We call it spam because, well, first of all, there is a product that you can buy.
Good grief.
A meat product.
Did we plan that?
No, I planned it.
That's incredible.
I planned it.
Because I honestly had no idea
Okay.
Mr. Duncan was going to do that.
Good. Well, don't draw attention to it. Just make it look professional. Yes, we intended for this to happen. So spam is a type of meat. It was introduced, I think it was just after the Second World War, when there was a lot of rationing. And this was sold as something that was an affordable type of meat. Spam, which means special ham. So it is the two words contracted together, crushed together. Spam, special ham.
Right.
So that's why we call it that.
Even so it's pork then?
Yes, I think it is pork, but it's got other things in as well.
Let's just put it this way, it won't be the pure meat.
It's not.
It'll be hooves and snouts.
No, well, that isn't what I meant actually.
Well, it was always regarded as a very low quality meat, wasn't it?
Okay, Steve, it does exist still.
I know it does, but that's what it's regarded as. It's not high quality meat,
yes,
is it? I think even the makers would agree that they're not saying that this is high quality meat.
Sorry, the makers of spam are selling this as something that's not very good. Buy spam. It's not very good. Yes, I don't think they're doing that anyway, but it is still very popular. But the word spam comes from special ham. However, how did this product become the word for junk email? Well, I will tell you.
Is the clue in the word junk?
No.
Okay.
The word comes from Monty Python, of all places. There is a famous sketch, a famous performance, where someone working in a small cafe is asked what is on the menu. And there is the person working at the restaurant. Yes, it is a man dressed as a lady, but that's what Monty Python often did. But she goes through all of the menu and everything has spam. Spam in chips, spam in egg, spam in toast, spam. So everything had spam. And in the end, she just says spam, 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 spam. And it becomes annoying after a while. And that is why we call junk email spam.
Because it's annoying.
Because it's something that's annoying. Something you can't get rid of. So that song that they sing, the spam song, is where we get spam for junk mail.
Because it's annoying.
Because it's annoying and it's always coming in your ear. You can't get rid of it.
Interestingly enough, I have a work email address and a personal email address. And the work email address is controlled by the company I work for. And they must have very good filters because I get very, very few, very, very little spam, if any, or junk emails. So I don't know what, but my personal email address, I get loads of this. And I don't know how. Is that my stomach?
Your stomach is rumbling.
I'm hungry. And I've got a little treat for you, Mr. Duncan, later on after this live stream.
Oh.
So yes, and I don't know how I can. I don't know what the company does that I can't do. I must be able to do something to stop all this spam and junk mail, because it takes me 10 or 15 minutes a day just to get rid of all the junk, to find the emails that are useful on my personal email address.
Steve, I mentioned spam a few moments ago, junk email, but did you know that this particular product also has
a high salt content?
It has its own museum. There is a museum of spam. I'm not joking. It is true. And there it is. There is the Spam Museum.
Good grief.
And inside you can see the history of spam, all of the things over the years that have been associated with that particular product. This is based in the United States, by the way, not in this country. It's not in England. It's in the USA. I think it's Minnesota. is where this particular place is actually situated, there is a spam museum. And it's dedicated, completely dedicated to this product, spam meat. Can you believe it? It's true. I'm not joking, by the way. I wish I was.
Hope that we are not offending certain religions by talking about pork-derived products, but it's part of the world, so we're just talking about it.
Okay. I'm not sure if you'd be offending religious people or just anyone that eats food. Because it's not the nicest thing in the world.
Bamboo for You says that there's an acronym as well that you can put around spam: sending of persistent, annoying mail. So yes, it's annoying, like the song was in that.
Spam, 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 spam. Lovely spam.
I can see smoke going by.
Is it? It's not coming from you, is it?
I hope not. What's next, Mr. Duncan?
I hate it when you say that, by the way. So there is a spam museum. I can't believe that. I wonder if there are any other museums that are connected to something that is really weird or something really odd. I can't believe, now I don't want to offend anyone with this, I can't believe that there is a 9/11 museum.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
There's a museum and you can go inside and there are lots of bits of the Twin Towers and you can look at all sorts of things. Now, I don't know, just from my point of view, by the way, I think, I'm not sure if that is in good taste. Am I wrong there? Is it wrong to have a 9/11 museum? So there are things that I think sometimes they seem to go to the edge of decency. So that's just a thought. That just popped in my head. But there are lots of interesting museums, car museums.
I would go to any of those, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, we have some very nice car museums around here.
What's this got to do with junk mail?
I was talking about strange museums because of the spam museum. So I thought maybe there are other strange museums.
Of course, in hard times, that product came out of hard times. You know, when did you say it was developed? After the war? During the war?
I think it was after. I think it was because there was serious food rationing.
Well,
I think it came from that.
We've learned so much from watching our favourite show, don't we, Mr. Duncan? Bullseye. We learn all sorts of facts because it's a quiz show. And we learnt from a question that was asked from a programme we watched yesterday, an episode, that rationing in the UK after the war, so the war ended in 1944, 45, food was still being rationed right up until when was it? Was it the end of the 1950s?
It was 1959.
1959. So during the war, everybody had a ration book. My mother tells me about this. And you were only allowed to buy certain quantities of food each week. Certain amount of sugar, certain amount of meat, certain amount of milk. You had a ration because there wasn't enough food available during the war. But that rationing, because it took a long time for everything to get back to normal after the war, supplies and everything, a bit like we're experiencing now in a way after the pandemic, took a long time for those supply chains to get back to normal again.
Yes.
Because, you know, all the men had gone to war, there weren't so much farming going on, that sort of thing.
I suppose we should mention rationing.
But
so rationing means you are cutting the supply of things. So you can't just go to the shop and buy something. You have to have rations. So you can only buy a certain amount of something. So that's what rationing was after the Second World War.
And it went on till 1959, did you say?
Yeah, it's incredible.
And the last thing that was rationed, they took things off at different times because that was the most difficult one to get hold of, was
meat.
So meat was still rationed right up until 1959 because it had taken 15 years to get the supplies back to normal after the war.
Yes.
And of course, in those days, I should think there were very few overweight people because you could only eat so much unless you grew it yourself. But I still think literally 2 years before I was born,
Okay.
they were still rationing.
Yes, it's amazing. Are you okay, Steve?
Something caught my eye outside.
Did it?
Caught my eye.
Yeah, okay.
But in fact, it was just a reflection of us
Yes.
in the window.
That's it. Okay, great. I'm sure we're all glad to know that. You can see outside now, it's going dark.
It's dark.
Yes, the sun has gone down and it's not even 4 o'clock.
Nothing to see.
Nothing to see outside. Look. So there it is outside.
So you can tell it's live. You can tell we're live because it's gradually got dark as we've been on air.
Just to prove how short the days are here in England. We are going in a moment.
We are. Well, I'm feeling hungry.
I can't believe that I survived all the way through.
Well, your voice is definitely... You rested it yesterday. You didn't come out with me.
I did.
You decided to stay indoors. It was very cold, very windy. Yes, you have obviously benefited from that rest. I think sometimes when you get sick, it's in a way, it's your body telling you, slow down. You're sick because you've probably been overdoing it. And you just need to slow down, stop, let your body catch up and repair itself. That has worked for you yesterday, Mr. Duncan?
Yes. So I don't feel too bad. I suppose I was a little bit excited to come back and join you here. By the way, talking of exciting things, next week, December arrives, and also I will begin publishing my new English lessons. Oh. So on this Wednesday, there will be no live stream on Wednesday because I am going to start publishing my new English lessons. I will give you a clue. What I'm doing is I am re-recording and remaking some of my earlier lessons, which now look a little bit old-fashioned, and also because the quality isn't as good. So I've re-recorded, I've remade completely from scratch. So it is me now as I look. I've remade them, and I will begin posting them onto a new playlist next week as December arrives.
Have you used clever technology, Mr. Duncan, to take away the years and make yourself look like you did when you first made that lesson?
No. The one thing to mention is I'm not wearing my hat. So there is no hat in my new lessons, so I'm not even wearing my hat. Oh, so I hope you are intrigued enough to take a look at my new lessons as I start to post them next week as we enter December. And no, the answer to the question I had earlier, I haven't started putting my Christmas lights on the house.
No.
And I don't even know when I'm going to do it. So I have to do it maybe next week sometime. But I will try my best. I hope I feel better. I hope I feel better then.
I think we've got lots of new people watching us today. Somebody from Russia
Oh, good.
says hi, but we can't read your name, unfortunately, because we can't read...
Cyrillic.
That's it. There we go. Hello, I'm from Russia. And also somebody from Sudan.
Hello to Sudan.
That's disappeared. Yeah, there we go. No, we can't read your name either, unfortunately. We're not clever enough to be able to read people's names in other languages.
Yes. We don't read. We
other
can't read.
dialects.
That's it. It looks a bit like Arabic. So I think Cyrillic and Arabic, we are not very good at reading.
We're going to struggle with that. So apologies if you do have an English equivalent. Please let us know,
Yes.
and we'd love to read your name out. And we appreciate you watching us today.
Yes. Gulu is here as well. I believe you are one of our regular viewers as well. I've noticed today we've had a lot of people come back today that we haven't seen for a long time.
Yeah, Invix M
Yes.
has just said, come back after a year or 2 years, so many memories, and a nice little heart.
Yes. So many old memories. Well, of course, they don't come much older than us, especially here on YouTube. We are going in a moment.
We are.
I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream.
Shall I tell you the surprise I have for you?
Steve has something for me. He's going to give me a nice treat. I wonder what it could be. Do I have to take my clothes off?
No.
Okay, good. Good. Thank goodness for that. I'm glad.
It's too cold for that anyway. Yes, so what haven't we done on a Sunday after the live streams that we have done and used to do for year and year and year on? We used to always do something after the live stream and we always announced it. We had a cup of tea and...
We used to steal one of our local farmer's sheep. Oh, no, we don't talk about that, do we?
We always had a cup of tea and a...
tea cake.
Yes, well, we stopped having the tea cakes.
Okay.
And, of course, our local bakery closed down. Well, guess what, Mr. Duncan?
Yeah?
I went out yesterday on the way to where I was going without you, and I went into the bakery shop, which has reopened, and lo and behold...
Faster.
Lo and behold.
Look at that.
And lo and behold, that's a phrase we use to say, voila.
There it
Here you
is.
are.
Lo and behold, I think it's from the Bible.
I think it is, so there we go. Lo and behold.
We have tea cakes.
Yes.
They look nice. They look quite big. They're big ones.
They're big ones. So tea cakes are back, at least for this week. Let's see if they're stale and dry. If they are, I will be complaining and we won't be purchasing them again.
Oh, yes. Okay, we will see what happens.
Right, delicious. Yes. Lovely. A good idea to take a little rest. No. Oh, yes. Lovely to be here, Mr. Duncan.
Okay, so I won't be here on Wednesday. No live stream on Wednesday, but of course we will be back next Sunday. I hope I will be feeling better. And of course, we will be, if we go out and about, if we go into the shops, we will wear our masks because we have to now.
Yes.
It's back.
It's back.
We are back to wearing our masks.
Everyone's worried about a new strain
Yes.
of the COVID.
I often get a new strain, but I can't tell you where.
What are they calling it? Is it
It's the Omicron.
Omicron or Omicron?
Which comes from the word micron, which means small. Oh, did you know that?
Micron I knew was small.
Yes,
That isn't
micron.
Omicron.
Yes, well that's why we put micro in front of words.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done. So is that the next one in the Greek alphabet after Delta?
Strange thing is, no, it isn't.
Ah.
It's much further down because some of them don't make any sense. So some of them are just two letters,
Ah.
and so they don't. What I think one is pi, where you can't really have the pi.
So they've missed out ones that you can't pronounce.
Yes, ones that look a bit strange.
Right,
So now we
okay.
are on Omicron. Omicron.
The time to worry is when we've used up all the letters of the Greek alphabet and we've come back and we have to have a new system to describe COVID variants.
Yeah.
Then we know we're really in trouble.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen.
Yes. All right, okay, Mr. Duncan, I'll go into the kitchen and make a cup of tea and a tea cake.
Yes.
And I shall see you in a few minutes' time.
Yes.
And lovely to be here. Hope you have a lovely week learning English and whatever you do. And see you next week.
Mr. Steve is going. I've just realised, one thing I've realised is I need a new backdrop, an emergency backdrop. So when the light goes outside, I have to have a backdrop that I can put behind me so it just doesn't look like I'm standing in front of a blackboard or a blank void. So that's what I have to do, I think. I will try to sort that out for next week. It's time to say goodbye. It's time for me to go. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you for your company. It's been a busy one. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about face masks. We've talked about Mr. Steve's new suit. We've talked about junk mail. We've talked about Jehovah's Witnesses. And we've talked about tea cakes as well. See you later. Take care, everyone. And I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. My new lesson, my first new lesson that I've been making. And I have made a few. I'm going to try and make some more next week. The first one will be posted on, I want to say Tuesday. Yes, I think Tuesday. Tuesday will be the day. So I hope you will catch that. And I hope I will catch you next Sunday as well. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you soon. Enjoy your week. Have a good one. And can you stay safe as well? Just for me, I would be very happy if you could stay safe. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.
I'm a big boy now.